You're listening to Burnt, and this is episode number 7.
Hey, I'm Lauren.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and some days we're burnt out.
And some days we're burning it down. This is Burnt, a podcast where you're not going to find us reading off of a script.
These are real, unfiltered, raw conversations between two moms, two women, and all of our friends.
We got a lot of friends, and we are all fired up and ready to make some change.
We're ready to burn it down, and we want you to join us on this journey where we aren't just burning it down, but we're figuring out how to fix it and rebuild it.
Because you got to scorch a little earth, controlled burn, before something beautiful can grow.
Join us every week here for Burnt, wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. Good morning, my friend.
Hi there. How are you doing today?
Recovering from my weekend. Hopefully by the time this airs on Wednesday, I will not be popping Motrin. How was your weekend?
I hear you. I'm on the tail end of a migraine, to be honest, and I've got a sick kiddo at home. So, just
Great start to the week.
right. We had a soccer tournament with early morning rainy games, and I went to a little gathering with
Just you and 6,999,999 other friends, right?
Is that the total we're at?
Well, I think we're at 7 million. So I was minusing you. It was all of you and your friends.
I
Unfortunately, I thought maybe 8.1 million I read again this morning. So somewhere between 7 and 8 million of your friends.
I also read friends. We were getting close to 10 million as they start to get these totals in. I need to fact check that, but I haven't seen global numbers. I know that there were protests all over the world. I would love to see, or gatherings. Are we allowed to call them protests? I feel like
I think they're protests. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still have the first one.
Unfortunately,
right?
I didn't get to go because I was in charge of our school fundraiser walkathon. So from 8:45 a.m. until 6:15 p.m., I was there.
Well,
but I ran into a dad with a No Kings shirt on, and I stopped him. I'm like, I don't know who you are, but oh my God, your shirt. Did you go? And he's all, I did go. Yes. And I understand there's choices to be made. I said, oh no, this wasn't a choice. Like I legit had to be here. My name is on the thing. I had to be here. But he goes, we felt your presence. I'm like, I hope you did, because I was really wishing I was there.
I love that. There were protests everywhere. My hometown, I think it was one of the biggest protests that they have ever had in Indiana. And it's just great to see. It's not just happening in big cities like Chicago and in other, even in like the suburbs. Yeah, like we're starting to get used to seeing them, but the small towns
and the red ones.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I love it. I think that there's something that's starting to shift. So I had soccer at 7:45 on Saturday morning, and I had my little Gloria Steinem coffee mug where one of the soccer moms asked me if that was me and my grandma. And I was like, she's everyone's grandma, maybe. And so these moms who I had previously kind of clocked as I can't talk politics with them. They don't do politics, and they probably voted for people who I very much disagree with. That's a nice way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
They were asking me lots of questions, and it was questions along the line of, they weren't just asking me about the point of the protest. They seemed to understand the point of the protest. They were asking me what I actually have seen with my eyes when it comes to ICE raids and with ICE involvement in Chicago and the people who are impacted and what conversations with those people. So like they're starting to ask questions about the human cost of what's happening. So I feel hopeful because they weren't mocking me. They were legitimately curious.
Oh, they best not. Maybe we should make QR codes with the podcast and just hand it out. You have questions? Use this QR code to listen to your answers.
Should we start asking questions or having people submit questions?
Sure. If you guys have a question, submit them to us and we will answer them.
Did not discuss this beforehand.
No.
Drop that on you.
I like that. I like that. New segment. Yes.
I like it.
Or just tell us what you're burnt up about.
Yeah, what do you want to burn down? What are you burned out about? And
And
what
what's your burning
questions?
question?
What's your
Mm,
I was genius. I like
this is a
it.
Monday morning. Got my venti pumpkin spice latte. This is what happens.
You are ready.
I
I
am
love it.
ready. Can we
You're
talk
burning.
more about the protests? Because, it is Antifa. And now today I saw that KKK Caroline is looking for, they're going to do a deep dive research into the organizer, the one person who brought these millions of people from around the globe to protest because they don't like it. And we all saw the wonderful AI video that Clown Boy posted where he's wearing a crown in a jet and dropping feces on protesters. I mean, if that doesn't say classy, lead America, what does? What tells you a strong leader than a king in a fighter jet dropping feces?
I
It's
mean, first
disgusting.
of all, they couldn't even get the AI video to put the like
The face
the
with the
mask
oxygen
on correct.
mask on. Have you ever watched Top Gun, buddy? No.
But like, could you imagine? I mean, we can because it's happening, but a president of the United States posting a video dumping shit on Americans. I
I
mean,
mean,
is
the
that
sad
not a
part is this
metaphor?
doesn't surprise me. This does not surprise me that because he's just a nasty, gross, disgusting, vile individual. This is why when he questions, do you think I'm going to get into heaven? No, no, you're not going to get into heaven. You're an asshole. Like, period. You just are.
Well, and isn't the dropping shit on Americans through AI? That's actually kind of just a representation of what he's doing because
Yes.
I feel like we are all just trying to swim through the shit that he drops on us constantly every day. Like if we could just have one day, one day where there
An
isn't
hour.
breaking news, where there isn't Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, standing at a microphone calling us names and saying that we hate America. And like if there isn't just one day, I was thinking about this 2 years ago. I was writing my book. It was the fall. It was beautiful. I was sitting in my porch swing and I was planning events for I was planning a wedding for a client. I was writing my book. I was writing poetry. I was doing the mom thing. I was making brownies and I was, yes, aware of politics and concerned about what was coming down the pipeline and I was concerned about issues, but I was not living in this state of like nervous system overdrive all the time where you're oscillating between, all right, I'm out in the streets protesting and now I have a migraine and my kid is homesick because it's fall and like everybody's sick, even though we did get vaccinated. Vaccines are all, but like colds and tummy bugs, you can't really vaccinate against that. But it's almost like we're forgetting what living is like when your nervous system isn't just constantly like firing on all cylinders.
I think the same thing because I look back and it's now been, we started campaigning for Kamala in July. So it's been over a year in which politics has been an everyday thing, but we're creeping up on that year of holy shit, we've been fighting for our lives. Like literally the right to our bodies, the right to vote, the right to not be kidnapped from your child's school pickup line, from the Walgreens down the street, from your front porch. Fighting for lives. That's literally where we are, fighting for healthcare. And yeah, it just a year ago we weren't doing this.
No, no, not at all. It's like I sometimes I get really sad about about that nostalgia of where I wish we still were able to live, and also understanding that there are certain communities who have never had that sense of, oh, I'm just going to write my book and do my job and like look at the flowers and the leaves falling from the trees. Like there are definitely, it's a privilege to be able to say that. Um and so I just want to recognize and take ownership of that, and also take ownership of that privilege that we have now and do something about it. Like, I'm not gonna just sit and pretend like everything is fine while people are being kidnapped. I am not going to pretend everything is fine while rights are being stripped away. Um, and maybe this isn't a topic for today because I know we have other things we want to talk about, but I'm really struggling now that the season is changing about the holidays. I am really, really struggling with what that's going to look like because I I don't have it in me to pretend it is fine with a room full of people who frankly don't give a shit. I
Mhm.
just don't.
And
This is
that's
the
where the
episode
privilege
where
lies. Like, that is where the privilege lies. That you can sit around a room, celebrate a holiday, and think not give two Fs about it.
Mhm.
And we can talk about that word privilege because it's been one of those words where it's been tossed around a lot, but the meaning behind what it actually is, the definition, it it is the privilege that this does not directly affect you, and yet you have the choice to actually do something about it or to sit back and just watch. That is what privilege is.
Yep.
It's the people who are affected don't have that privilege because they're living it in their lives.
Right.
So if you are listening right now and you're like, well, it doesn't affect me, so I don't have to say anything, that's privilege right there. So what are you going to do with that privilege? You either use it for good and do something, or you sit back, continue to do nothing, say nothing, and you are the problem. You are part of the problem. You have just made that decision.
Mhm. I had lunch with a friend, and she is someone who I love dearly. I've known for decades, um and she said something about how, well, as long as I still have my rights and freedoms, then I there's really nothing for me to say. And I was like, I hate to break it to you. It's not
So what happens when
going
those are gone because you were asleep at the wheel?
right. And I get that, like, for some people it is not, it's just not feasible. It's not healthy. It's not like there's a small subset where, like, I recognize that there are some things that would keep somebody from using their voice or from um getting out in the street. Like, we have a friend who is disabled and on palliative care. Of course, I'm not expecting her out in the streets right now, but she is finding other ways to use her voice and to sink into artwork because artists really are needed during times like
Her
this.
art is so beautiful. Oh my
It
gosh. I
really
know who
is.
you're talking about. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to
We
get my
should have
hands
her
on
on.
one of those. We will. Yes. I
Yeah.
need to finish reading her book.
Yeah. We'll finish reading it
But
and then
I had a similar conversation this weekend with a mom who she said, I wish that I could speak out more. I wish, but she literally can't because of her job,
yes,
because
exactly.
of our area. And I told her, you don't have to, and nor do you have to go protest. I couldn't protest this weekend. I wanted to, but I couldn't. Does that mean that I'm any less than those who did? I don't believe so because I'm still showing up and doing what I can do. So it's not a competition as to who can say the most, who can do the most, who can show up the most. It's just, are you doing something? Anything, like literally anything. It can be teeny tiny. Just talk to somebody. Listen, educate yourself. It doesn't have to be huge.
It
But
can be kitchen
and just
table conversations.
yeah, just the fact that you say, I wish I could do more, that's when you know that those are the people that are doing something. If you say, I wish I could do more, and you have that want, you're doing something, you're doing enough. I guarantee you.
Yes. Yes. And I have to say too that I've seen a lot of comments of people on the right who are showing up to comment sections intentionally to be critical and to try to tear down the protesting efforts. And they're saying things like, oh, it's just a bunch of angry white people. Where are all the brown and black people? And I am glad that black people and brown people and other marginalized communities are staying home.
They've been showing up for decades, y'all.
decades.
Fuck.
Decades.
Generations. Come
Yeah,
on.
generations. It's really, I mean, it is on us, and what I love is I love seeing people of color standing on the side of the protests, cheering us on. They're not out there with their own signs necessarily. They're not like in it and walk. I mean, certainly several are, but I love seeing it's particularly Black women. I love seeing on the sidewalks, and they're just like, I see you. And they'll cheer us on, and they'll like, I love that because
it's about damn time.
they need to, they have historically carried so much weight and responsibility. They shouldn't have to do this too and carry that weight. And that means that women like you and I need to start. I think that what we've been doing, we've been vocal for years. It's not like we just woke up in 2025 and decided to have an interest in politics. Like this isn't new for us. But maybe we can help kind of welcome people who haven't had to do politics before. Maybe they weren't ever concerned. They just thought in binary pro-life, pro-choice. I'm going to vote for the Republican because that's how more babies get saved. Like those are most of the Republicans I know, that's their headspace. Or I have been a Republican my whole life. I loved Ronald Reagan. I want fiscal responsibility. So I'm just going to vote for Republicans. And I've been hearing for decades and decades that Democrats are evil and Democrats are amoral and bad people, and they want to kill babies, and they want to take more taxes from you and spend it on bullshit that isn't going to help you, but it's going to help this person over here who that person's stealing from you, even though that person's not stealing. So like they've been given this messaging. And so I truly think that those Republicans are starting to actually like look around and say, wait a minute, what I've been told my whole life doesn't actually appear to be true, because it's not true. So
do you want to play Mike Johnson's little speech? It's so cute. They gave him a microphone again.
God. This guy makes me, all right. I'm going to try. This is the episode where Lauren says fuck and shit and motherfucker. So just like, if you're sensitive to that, you might want to.
Earmuffs.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. Why are we not playing? Oh, it's like, did the sound? I literally just had it queued up.
Tomorrow, the Democrat leaders are going to join for a big party out on the National Mall. They're going to descend on our Capitol for their much-anticipated so-called No Kings rally. We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally, okay? And I'm not sure how anybody can refute that. If you think about what's going to happen here tomorrow, you're going to bring together the Marxists, the socialists, the Antifa advocates, the anarchists, and the pro-Hamas wing of the far-left Democrat Party. That is the modern Democratic Party. That's where
Okay. I'm just going to pause it there really quick.
Yeah. So explain to us what Marxists and socialists are, because I know you wrote down the definitions.
Well, and first of all, I would like to also say, like, if I hated America, there's no way I would be out in the streets right now. I would be like, fuck you, fuck you.
Just burn it down like you are.
Yeah, like if I hated America, would I have my American flag with me at every protest? Would I be like, I literally signed my name yesterday to a massive Declaration of Independence in Chicago. Or not yesterday, Saturday. I just, hating America is such an offensive thing to throw at us, because we are talking about veterans who've literally fought for our country. We are talking about the descendants of the original Antifa. Like, let's start with Antifa. Antifa is not an organization. It literally is an ideology that means anti-fascist. So, somebody said that was it Christy Nome or was it Pam Bondi? One of them said something
They're
about
one and the same, just different color hair.
different varying levels of cosmetic procedures.
Hmm.
One of them said that they had the girlfriend of the founder of Antifa behind bars. Like Eleanor Roosevelt's in custody? Like, who are you looking for? The founder of Antifa, FDR?
Oh my God.
Okay, so that's
That's
anti-fa.
Antifa.
That's Antifa.
Yeah. I do
Okay.
like all the Antifas and the grandma Antifa, all those signs. Those are beautiful.
Those
I
are
do
so
like
good.
it when our elderly show up like that.
I love it. My favorite is when they have the sign that say like, I can't believe I still have to protest this shit. I'm telling you, we should do a count on how much I swear in this episode. Okay, so Marxism. Here is I chat GPT'd for like the simplest, easiest definitions of these. So Marxists are people who follow ideals from Karl Marx, who believed society is divided between the wealthy, who own everything, and the workers, who create everything. Marxists argue that wealth and power should not be concentrated in a small elite, but should be shared more fairly. The core idea: end systems where a few people profit off of the labor of many.
Huh. America.
Okay. Socialists. Socialists are people who believe essential resources like healthcare, education, utilities should serve the public good, not just private profit. Socialism doesn't mean abolishing all capitalism. Many democracies, like Europe, use democratic socialism to ensure safety nets. Core idea: the economy should work for everyone, not just the wealthy.
Isn't this interesting? It always comes back to the wealthy.
It's really fascinating.
Mhm.
And the anarchists, people who believe society would be better organized without central government or hierarchy, built instead on mutual cooperation, voluntary communities, and shared responsibility. Anarchism does not automatically mean chaos or violence. Most anarchists emphasize community care and anti-authoritarianism. Core idea: reject imposed authority in favor of voluntary cooperative systems. And then
So
I
maybe
think,
not paying them as much.
yeah, it's really like it's fascinating because I absolutely had a negative connotation to some of and I think that like Marxism and socialism, it kind of turns into a different thing than what it's actually set out to mean.
Right.
But
Because I
I
think
would,
socialism, I think Bernie Sanders. And
yes.
we know that Bernie, he's got great ideas. He wants health care for all. What? Education for all. Oh my God, these are horrible ideas. Like, let's feed our children free lunches at school. Oh shit. Like, really? Utilities now coming from the land of PG&E where they're for profit and it keeps going up, 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 and homes and lives get lost. Oh, imagine that, to have a utility company that's not for themselves. Yeah, these ideas are just horrible, right? Tongue in cheek, if you're not watching and you're only listening, these are great ideas.
I can't wait to see the comments we get on this episode. If they
Oh,
were mad
yeah.
at us about talking about religion, like
Here we are.
we're about to get roasted. And
That
I
means you're
think,
listening.
right? I think the point is that we shouldn't just like immediately believe all of the things that the people with a microphone standing in a press conference tell us. Like maybe we should unpack some of these ideas and look at what's bad, what's good, what works, what doesn't work, because there's going to be that kind of nuance in everything, like literally everything. There's nothing is 100%, yep, this is the way, especially when you're talking about a nation of, how many of us are there? 340 million people?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
we've got to find the nuance. We have to find the things that work, the things that don't work. And right now, there's a lot that's not working. In on all sides of the political spectrum. So, but I love
Well,
the
this
way
is
that
the
they
thing,
villainize us.
doesn't it feel like when we're giving billions and billions of dollars to other countries and neglecting our own, that it's like reverse socialism? Like, is that a thing where we care more about other countries and how they can benefit us, like getting into their jails or getting inside information about other people, versus making sure that we're taking care of our own home?
Mm. I mean, the whole America First concept is now like, are people paying attention to the soybean situation?
I don't know, but I got slammed for you should have just eaten the soybean in my video last week where a soybean fell out of my spring roll. And I made a video of like, even like this is one of the last remaining soybeans that we have in America because China's not buying them. Hello, tariffs and Argentina, and we're bailing them out. Or Argentina or Venezuela?
Hmm.
I'm getting it
Argentina.
wrong. Argentina. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're selling their soybeans instead. And so it's kind of like a, hey, pay attention to
Mhm.
soybeans and our farmers are going bankrupt. And someone's like, you should just eat the damn soybean. Okay. You just totally missed the point.
Completely missed the point. The point
Completely
just,
missed the point.
was it a bot? No, probably not. If it
I
identified
think it was just a man. Yeah.
tomato.
That's where we're at these days.
There's that one clip from Designing Women. Did you ever watch Designing Women?
Totally.
Where she's like,
Sugar bacon.
she goes, I love that man, but generally speaking, men are the problem. Oh, the patriarchy.
Yeah.
I watched a really great video that somebody did talking about the patriarchy and how so much of what is happening right now, the patriarchy convinces women that we need to be quiet and this is not what the video was. I'm now riffing because I don't remember, but patriarchy in it sort of swallows all of us up. It convinces us that we need to be quieter. We need to be subservient. We need to maybe not even have our own bank account. We should be smaller. We should be dainty and pretty and just like make muffins. And so any woman who dares to not fall into that line, other women do the dirty work of the patriarchy to get us back in line. And that has been something I've been coming up against for years because I've gone from wedding planner, who very much is doing the job of the patriarchy, celebrating marriage and not that marriage is bad, but like doing it in this very performative way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I dare use my voice or speak up about something that isn't working for me or something that isn't working for my neighbor, it's always women who are telling me to get back in line, be quieter, be smaller.
Not us. Mm-mm.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to burn down.
You mentioned giving people microphones, so I want to segue into something else we wanted to talk about.
Love it.
And my Substack I shared, and we're going to go about this in a, I don't know, a politically
Diplomatic.
correct way, diplomatic, yes. So last week on the I've Had It podcast, which I love, it is one of my favorite shows because these women are ballsy, they're gutsy, they say it like it is. They had my good friend Cory Booker on. And I do say friend because I mean, he's in my grid and we've met and I've interviewed him. But the reason that I found out that they had him on was because of the promo clip they shared in which Welch berated him and asked him over and over about Netanyahu being a war criminal and why'd you vote this way on Kushner? And it was like, oh yeah, she asked the questions. That's what all the comments were. She asked the questions. She did the hard stuff. Yes. Da, da, da. And in the promo, the clips of Senator Booker are he's trying to get a word in and he can't. And so she keeps asking, no, I asked you to say yes or no. And so I was like, forget the promo. I'm going to go listen to the full episode. And I watched it because I like to see the facial expressions. And he answered the questions. And he was cut off many times. And as a podcast host, who's I've been doing this for many years now, 6 going 7 years. I did not like the role of the host that was played. And I looked at it from a podcast host perspective, but also from the perspective of someone who's been diving deeply into these candidates and these elected officials and their staff, and how if you just ask a question, you most likely get an answer. You don't have to wait until they're on air in front of you. If you don't like the way they vote away, you can tell them that in a polite and respectful way. And I really took heartburn with the things that they said and how they treated him. And I don't always agree with Cory Booker. He knows that. His staff knows that. I've made it known. Just like with any politician, I will praise you when you do something great. I will let you know, hey, did not like that. I'm going to let you know why if you do something else. But I will also ask, why did you vote this way? I did this to my congressman a couple months ago when he voted no on the impeachment. I go, that's not a good look. Why are we doing this? And his staff goes, here's his statement. He wrote this up for you. You can share it. And there were reasons behind it. And it wasn't that he didn't agree with impeachment. It was that they were not ready with all of their facts in place. So if we ask these questions and we don't just come at them swinging, you get the answers. And there's always an answer. Whether we like it or not, there will be an answer. And I feel like I'm getting on my soapbox. But I really, the thing that cut me, that I could see this look on Cory Booker's face, was when Welch said, your 25-hour speech has been nullified to me because of the way you voted. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding? And I feel like he is one of the very few who keeps showing up. He is there for every interview. I interviewed him. He didn't know who I was, and he popped on. Interviewed him again. Now he knows who I am. I've met him. Now he knows who I am. So I hope that there's a trust that he knows these are the questions I'm going to ask, and I'm not going to come at you swinging. But for him to come on and be swung at like that over and over and over again, and then to say, I have to go take a vote. I've been on the other line of the, I have to go take a vote. I have to go and wrap this up. That this is his job. They literally come, they go, you have 5 minutes to get over to the Capitol building to take the vote. You got to wrap this up. Go. And they're running and they're in little carts and trains and stuff, and they go and they vote. And if they don't make it on time, they don't get to vote. They questioned him. Oh, do you really think he had to go vote? Or was he just uncomfortable? What? And then they referred to Obama as a motherfucker. Like, they didn't call him what? They just said, well, you know, that motherfucker hasn't been in office in 10 years. To me, it's so disrespectful. My mind is blown. And I like these women and I like him. And I'm like, what happened here?
There's definitely like some internal chaos going on when you listen to it and watch it. And I think I did the same thing. Like, I watched it, I was like, oh, that seems like they were going for a super viral clip. And I love these women with you. Love them. Like, big fan of their work. In a way, it reminded me of Al Franken. Do you remember when the Democratic Party just absolutely forced Al Franken out, and we hold over that photo, which arguably, like, as a sexual assault survivor, that was a horrendous, completely inappropriate photo. But the way that they came after him and the purity politics that we play within the Democratic Party, I think about that situation and what we're facing. It doesn't line up. It doesn't, like, if we just come after every single politician in the Democratic Party who we take issue with because they're human. Like at the end of the day, these are not deities. These are not infallible like figureheads. Like, yes, they're figureheads, but at the end of the day, they're people, they're human. And if we forget that humanity piece and we come into our interactions with them as though they are not human, as though they need to be perfect. I know as somebody who in a very, very small scale feels like I'm under a microscope, and every single thing that I say or do, I'm being flooded with comments and DMs and people stopping me on the street who know me, who take issue with one tiny thing that I said or didn't say, or I can't begin to imagine somebody like Cory Booker. Like that sort of, because for me, what that does to me is it makes me be like, fuck it, I'm out. I am not playing this game to be perfect and to make everybody happy, because that was when I was a wedding planner and I was a people pleaser. I am here right now losing money, mind you, like not making any money. And I am here for my love of this country and for my love of my children and the future that they, I hope, have here in this country, and the love of neighbors and people I don't know who I know want the same thing. And if we rip each other to shreds, we're going to have more of what we're seeing, because we're just paving the way for people to step into, what is the word I'm looking for? Just this authoritarian takeover. Like if there's no opposition party, if we have ripped away the will to continue of the opposition party because they're being attacked by one side and they're being attacked by the other side and they just can't get it right. And so they say, fine, forget it, I'm out. And then we're like, well, fuck you for giving up. It's one thing to hold somebody's feet to the fire and to ask tough questions. It's a completely different thing to rip them to shreds in a way that diminishes their humanity. That's where I am like,
it was disrespectful. And I think that we have a lot of politicians who are not showing up right now. They are not doing interviews. They are not, and we are shitting all over the ones who are, including this interview. It was not, if I was another politician who has never done a podcast interview and I see how this one went down, I'd be like, yeah, I ain't doing those either. Yep. No, I'll just sit back here in my office or that hiding hole wherever I am. And I'm not going to show up, because look what happens when you do show up. You get ripped apart. Even though you stood for 25 hours, didn't have a bathroom break or take a sip of water, you're still going to get crapped on, because you're telling, he told the truth. You asked the question, he told the truth. You didn't like the answer. And so you ripped him apart. And then in addition to all of this, like, let's take away the politics. Let's take away what the issues were. You look at podcasts, and there are so many of them because of the blessing and the curse of the microphone. Anyone can have one, blessing and a curse, because we get to hear from people we wouldn't normally hear from. Curse, not everybody needs to have their own podcast. We know this. But they're not looked at as the most professional medium when it comes to media, because we have so many hobbyists. So now, during a time where I wholeheartedly believe that podcasts are such a great way for these politicians and for any elected official to get on, to let us get to know them, and then to create more content out of it. Obviously, it's like my job, but I believe that if we have them come on and we can show them that, hey, this is a great medium for you. You get to be yourself. You get to have a conversation with a constituent, with someone who votes, then that's great. But now what do we say when not only do we have someone come on a show, we rip them apart because we didn't like their answer, instead of just accepting the answer and saying, you know what? Not what I was looking for or hoping for. But okay, thank you for actually giving me an answer. And then waiting until they get off the air to shit talk them some more. Like, did you know that you were still recording? Because it really kind of felt like you thought that they had left the room and you were going to have your little gossip session. That's how it felt to me.
yeah.
And I didn't like that. And I think that really puts down podcasts in general.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'll also say that I was really pissed at Booker for that Kushner vote.
Me too. I emailed his office.
And I hate that he was photographed glad handing Netanyahu. And yet now I have a little bit more context and I understand what was going on there. I understand that the Kushner vote connects directly back to his constituents and that there is history there. And while that doesn't make sense to me because I don't have that history, I respect that as a politician who is there voted by his constituents, that he did that vote for them. Okay, I can understand it in a different way than I was able. Do I agree with cozying up to Netanyahu? Absolutely not. Do I think he was cozying up to him? Like maybe a little bit, but also, what are we doing right now? Because we're having these conversations with Republican soccer moms on the sidelines. We are telling people, have a conversation at your kitchen table with your Republican family members. Be open-minded. Let them know that there is nuance and that there are other ways that we can find common ground, and that like we can work on this together and we can do this together. We are right now on a very small level in that interpersonal way, encouraging people to do exactly what politicians like Cory Booker are doing under a massive spotlight. What is going to happen if we tell those politicians, don't have the conversation, don't even talk to the people who are causing harm, to the people who we don't agree with, just don't even talk to them at all? Then what? Like,
Don't reach across the aisle, period. Nothing will get done. Nothing. And that's an amazing point. And I think it also, it comes down to like the Democratic Party and how there's so much infighting. And that was also a topic in that episode of, well, you don't put down the others or the other side doesn't get in. And you look at the Republicans and they're just like, yay, we all suck. Let's get together. Like they root each other on, oh, you made a bad decision. That's okay. We'll all get behind you. You're in the Epstein files. That's okay. We won't release them. Like no big deal. But the Democrats, it is just, you're not good enough. No, you're not good enough. And then we have a podcast that does the same thing. And there's so much infighting. And then you see people who, whether they work with the DNC and they're like, yay, donate money. Oh, but the DNC and the Democrats in it, and they crap top them too. Like you can't have it both ways. There has to be, and it's not black, it's not white, it is gray. Everything is gray in life. To a certain extent. There is the black and white. Like, should you kill people? No, you shouldn't kill people, black and white. But there's always going to be this gray area. And if we don't stop the infighting and we don't say, you know what, I understand the way you voted, Cory. I don't like it. But your 25 hours of standing up and reminding us that if America hasn't broken your heart, then you don't love her enough. I feel that. And I will always remember those 25 hours that I watched with my kids on the couch and I cried as you ended. Mm-hmm. That will never be nullified for me. And I'm going to start crying right now too, because it meant so much. And for someone to say that to him and for millions to listen, that's just wrong.
Yeah, it's sad. And I think there are these moments right now where we need hope. We need to be reminded of the hope, and that there are people who are willing to put themselves in deeply uncomfortable situations, whether or not that's a deeply uncomfortable podcast conversation or standing for 25 hours until you have lost your voice. Like there are people who are willing to show up and do whatever they can. And I think we need to do better at not dragging everybody down, because let's be honest, like we are all fucking pissed and terrified, and like I am angry that my health insurance is about to absolutely skyrocket and we can barely afford to function as it is. Like I am pissed about the cost of healthcare. I am pissed about the understanding of how much it's going to cost to take care of my parents as they age, and that burden is probably going to fall on me. And they are not a burden. My parents are not a burden, but the financial aspect of it, like, what does that look like? That sandwich generation. While also, I am pissed that my kids don't have a normal childhood. I am pissed that they are growing up in a world with active shooter drills and a pandemic and e-learning and being afraid that their soccer teammates and their classmates are going to have their parents removed from the home, and that then where will they stay and what's going to happen to them? And I am fucking livid that this is the world that our kids are growing up in. And also, I don't want to topple the entire system, because I know that toppling the entire system and like eating ourselves from within is only going to make those who are even more vulnerable than me, even more vulnerable than my neighbor, that toppling the system is going to fall on their shoulders. It is going to, like, okay, wealthy white women who are intellectualizing and like have moral objections to things that absolutely rightly so we should have moral objections to. But if we take the privilege that we have and we use it to tear everybody down until ultimately the system topples, who's that going to hurt the most? Because it's not the privileged white woman who's sitting behind her microphone. It's going to be the already hurting marginalized communities. When you take healthcare away from people who rely on it, people like our friend who, once she loses healthcare on disability and palliative care, like, what happens next? Like, I can't talk to her without crying. I'm fucking terrified. It's going to hurt those people. It's going to hurt the people who don't have the means or the privilege to survive it. And so if the intention is to topple the whole system because the system is broken, that is a privileged position to have. Like, that is, and to do anything to push that toppling forward. Yes, I think there are things that need to break and be rebuilt, but that is a very different thing than trying to just absolutely destroy it and then be like, well, it'll be better when we rebuild it. No, that's not how this works. Who's going to die? Literally every night, keeping me awake at night. I remember when I was, sorry, now I'm soapboxing. My former business partner, there was a conversation she and I had where I realized we were very much on different pages. And she was like, it keeps me up at night worrying about, like, did I order the linens for this event? Keeping me up at night is like, who is, like, and there was definitely a headspace that I used to be in where, like, that definitely did keep me up at night. But, like, that's bullshit. Keeping me up at night is who and how many people are going to die and suffer because of the callousness of people in power. And if we bully the people who are less callous out of any semblance of power, we're just opening the door for the most awful of people to do whatever the fuck they want because they have spent so much time dehumanizing all of us. They don't care. Am I up to like 73 fucks at this point?
I just want to point out that if the linens are what's keeping you up at night, roll over, open your iPhone, check your email. Did you order you place that order? Cool. Roll back over, go to sleep. You can't fall back asleep or check the order of how many people are dying in America. So that's the difference.
God, but I used to do that during the pandemic. Now that you say that, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and check to see what the death toll was, which that doesn't say a whole lot about my mental health, but
but it wasn't something you could solve either. It wasn't like you could go, oh, let me check this. And oh, the world isn't burning. Let me go back to sleep. You know, it's very different to go, did I order those linens? Are they, oh, I did take care of that. Check. Did I save the world today? from healthcare going away? No.
Mhm.
Is it still going to go away? I don't know. That's not something that can just be opened and closed, done.
Mm-mm.
So that it's understandable why that would keep you up at night.
And I think this is why I'm not an effective event planner anymore. And I've realized this, and it's really a hard thing for me to kind of come to terms with because it's been such a part of my identity for so long. But I'm not my best event planner self because I am not kept awake in the middle of the night by whether or not I place the linen order. I am not like, I know that these things can be fixed and solved pretty quickly. I am not waking up and first thing in the morning sending a text message about like event logistics unless it's the event is today and that event is helping people. Like, I'm going to focus on how I can help the most people. I am not going to focus on how I can make it the prettiest.
I think there's a switch that happens in us, and it's we're the same age. And the more I talk to other women, the more I feel this is very common. We hit this 40-ish. We've been working in these corporate careers. We've had whatever careers we've had, and then we wake up and go, "Oh, is that really what I am meant to be doing? Is this really going to fulfill the legacy I want to leave? Is this going to make the world a better place for my children?" And it's in those moments that we go, you know what? I don't want to plan weddings anymore. I will plan events though for nonprofits because they're doing something to change the world, make it a better place. And it's not that weddings don't make the world a better place. And, you have the unity of two people who love each other and whatnot, but there is a difference in fulfillment. And I think that for both of us, we've found more fulfillment, even if it's just that we're screaming at the top of our lungs that we want rights for everybody and we want to have a better world to live in and we want our children to have their friends, have their families, and for everybody to eat and to have healthcare. There's more fulfillment in that than there is in me selling jet fuel and saving 10 cents a gallon to Jeff Bezos. And it was
Preach.
actually Elon. So, yeah, he
I
was
do.
my client.
Oh man. Um, Thinking too about the way that we've been defined as Marxists and socialists and anarchists and Antifa and how it all has such a negative connotation. I want to make sure that I give air to, yeah, a lot of those movements have been twisted and shifted toward authoritarianism. The thing that people don't like of those movements is that they've ended in authoritarianism. And that is what we're in right now. So to use these words like they're the boogeyman is authoritarianism. The boogeyman is fascism. Like that's the boogeyman.
The
And
boogeyman's in a fighter jet dropping feces on us.
literally. Honestly, I think Harry Sisson needs to, I mean, because that was an image. Did you see that was the image from that AI video is an image that Harry Sisson posted from so like those people that are replicated in the AI are actual humans from a photo that Harry Sisson
I knew
posted.
that there was something that I knew there was Harry, and he keeps popping up my feed, but I
Mhm.
hadn't. It's been a
Like
walkathon
like the
weekend.
grandpa behind him getting shit dumped on him is an
Yeah.
actual grandpa in a blue sweater. And there's a mom with a baby. Same thing, real person. It just could, and for future episodes, bringing me back to, I can't do Thanksgiving or Christmas with anybody who is cheering on a president who's posting videos dumping shit on Americans. Full stop. I'm at my disgusted stage today. I try to be
I
like
hear you.
happy and smiley and like kind and like there's room for everybody. But today it's the
There doesn't
protest.
have to be. And let
No.
me tell you, on Saturday, there was one of these, for anyone who's not looking, it was the head shaking back and forth, going, as I walked past. I'm like, nope, not dealing with you. And I moved on.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to look at you and go, not today.
I do the head shake back to people. Like when I've been in protest situations and I see like Illinois State Police who are holding the line for ICE to protect ICE, I will shake my head and I'll ask who they're protecting. Are you protecting us? Are you protecting ICE?
Mhm.
Yeah, but I will say, to end on joy, I think that when we gather together, whether or not it's with hundreds of thousands of people or if it's with 5 people, that gathering with like-minded folks, that fills your cup and it reminds you that you're not alone and
Mhm.
gives you the fuel to keep going and reminds you why you're there. So I feel like we are all like re-energized to keep going and to like maintain our focus. And the focus, we're all pissed about what's going on. We need to not be fighting in our own house. We need to
Mhm.
direct that anger where it belongs. Direct it at the people who are causing the harm to your neighbors, to your bank account, to your healthcare premiums. That's where our anger deserves to be directed, not internally, not at the people who are showing up.
Preach. Maybe we'll get Cory Booker to show up over here. I'll go see
Hey,
if I can go work some magic.
I don't hate that.
Okay, friend. Thank you. It's been a wonderful. You light me up for the week. So thank you.
Same, right back at you.